Here, they've got to kind of fill those positions and find new places, maybe new faces. For the most part, though, because the staff is so veteran, they've been able to, it's like business as usual. It seemed a lot like fall camp when we last left them here. Today, practice started with some quick warm-ups, and then they went in some tackling drills, and then from there, they broke into positions. We'll start out looking at the video of the quarterbacks. Of course, Greg Alexander is penciled in as the #1 QB, as the starter. You could also say Brent Roush will be the second in command, and then Shane Austin is labeled as the third. 6 quarterbacks in all are on this spring roster. But interesting to note, all the players, although some have somewhat secured jobs, Coach Mack said right after spring ball he's going to create a whole new lineup of just kind of who fits in the depth chart. So while many maybe look at spring ball and think, okay, it's just some off-season conditioning or what have you, a lot of jobs could be made, a lot of guys can move up, and that could just happen this time around. Also, when we look at the fall camp, things change up as well, because there will be about 35 new players that will also join in with the existing players that are out here. And sometimes you kind of want to get a gauge of just how much excitement goes into the season. Well, looking up on the field behind me as I walk through there gauging practice, there are 100 people here on an afternoon, Monday. Maybe, I'm not sure if they're supposed to be at work, but that kind of gives you a sense of maybe how many Warrior fans are looking into this next season and thinking Hawaii can rebound for the better. Again, Hawaii finished 7-7 on the year, losing at the Hawaii Bowl. So I'm sure that they're looking to change things and come up with that, that winning record that takes them over the 500 mark. Coming up at 6, I will have guests. Of course, Coach Mack has to be out on the field, so he couldn't join me at 5. He will be the first one to talk with me. And then we will also have quarterback Greg Alexander, each of them just talking about what this spring ball means, the mentality of the team so far. And we'll also go into a possible position change that might surprise you just because of the player who's shifting around. It's not permanent, but it could be interesting for spring ball. That's all coming up tonight at 6.
It's only spring, so much to talk about and look forward to. Thank you, Liz. We'll see you at 6.
Well, they have wrapped up the first day of spring ball, a good 2 hours. It's the only afternoon practice that they'll have for this spring. Joining me now is Greg Alexander. I don't know, is there a different mentality for you compared to when you came in the fall? This time around, you're the #1 guy.
Yeah, definitely different mentality going in. It's always good to have that confidence going in, knowing you're the guy, and now I can take a more leadership role, and especially now coming in, knowing the offense, having a year under my belt, communicate with the guys more. So it's definitely a better situation for me.
You seemed at ease, because you know this routine.
Yeah, coming in last year, you really have no idea how they practice, much about the offense or anything like that. But, second year going in, especially working with the same group of receivers. So, today was a pretty good first day for us.
Let's go back and take a look at the season and just what happened there. What things did you look at last year? You threw for more than 1,700 yards, 14 touchdowns with just 3 interceptions. What do you see from there that you can take to improve on next season?
Mechanically I had some issues last year. Always got to improve on your footwork. Right now, just working on getting on top of the ball, controlling the nose. Other than that, just kind of knowing the offense better all around and just trying to get better.
Because this season you go losing 4 offensive starters, 7 returnees, how do you think that affects the offensive side of the ball?
I don't think much. We got John Medeiros and Kealoha filling in at the slots, and they know the offense, and they've been in it for a couple years now, so they'll be up to speed. And the linemen we got filling in, I'm sure they're going to do a great job for us, and they know the scheme. So it's just a matter of guys stepping in and just doing their job, really.
I know that they've said there's also a good amount of off-season chemistry you guys have had. Super games are a good example of that. There was water polo, tug of war, home run derby. What was your strength in the super games? Which sport?
Oh man, I don't know. We didn't win any of them, so I think we did okay in the basketball one. So I think we got second or third in that. So
now, just seeing your height, I'm assuming was basketball a sport that you played in high school, or baseball, any of those other sports, something you'd done before?
Yeah, I played basketball in high school, so I can ball a little bit in that.
Fair enough. We will keep that in mind. Closing out, of course, they made note in the newsroom, Guy Hoggy. We trust in his weather forecast. As you can see, my hair is blowing. It was a windy day. At all, did it affect you? They were wondering out there on the field.
Not too bad. It's going to change certain throws that you make. Obviously the deeper balls, you're not going to put, so much air under them. But, it's kind of fun, too, because the quarterbacks kind of make it a little bit contest so you can cut the wind better and see if anybody's throwing ducks out there. So
how did you do?
Did pretty well, I think.
All right. Well, fair enough. Thank you so much for being here today. Of course, it just starts kind of the excitement for a lot of people who wait until last season for this just to get things started. And what's different this year, they will end the spring session with 2 scrimmages. One is going to be on Maui. That's on April 11th. And then they wrap up everything at the Aloha Stadium on April 25th. Besides that, like I said, if you want to come out here and see it in person, that's Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, Saturdays as well, from 7 to 9 in the morning. And they'll be doing everything they do as they will in fall camp. But again, that depth chart could change via what happens here. So if you want to get a sense of who might be the playmakers for the season, this is the place to be. Again, reporting live from the UH Manoa practice fields, Liz Chun, back to you.
I hope you're all having a pleasant evening. Warriors, their second go-around under head football coach Greg McMackin kicked off today with the start of spring drills this afternoon. Now, practice number 1 just wrapped up about 20 minutes ago, and we can tell you we can call it a fresh start for the Warriors at 4 o'clock this afternoon. This is how spring got started. Then they broke off into specific position drills. What's got Coach Mack excited is stability at quarterback. Greg Alexander returns as clear number 1. Unlike last season where the offense struggled early, dealing with all their Tyler Grunke issues, eventually giving the ball to Inoke Funaki, who's now at running back or a slot back. Now, what's also got Coach Mack jacked up is the return of senior center John Estes, the most decorated Warrior on this year's team, honored as first-team All-WAC both as junior and sophomore. John joins us live now from UH. Notice the new look, the short hair. Thanks for joining us, John. So how was practice number 1 for spring?
It was exciting. Couldn't wait to be out here, and it's fun playing football for the Warriors.
Now, you're a senior, a leader, and this is your team. What's your expectations for the coming season?
The WAC championship, it's going to go through Aloha Stadium. We got all the big dogs coming into town, Boise, Fresno, so we got to protect this house. We got to protect Aloha Stadium.
Now, I hate to bring this up, but last season, UH surrendered 59 sacks, tops in the nation. It wasn't all the fault of the offensive line, but you've got a new offensive line coach in Gordy Shaw. From what you've seen, what does he bring to the big guys up front?
He brings 14 years of smash mouth Minnesota football, so he knows what he's doing, and teaching us techniques. I already learned a lot through him already in film study and today out on the field, and I just can't wait to work with him throughout the season.
Is it different for you personally, being a senior, knowing this is the last go-around for you at center?
Yeah, I'm always used to being that young guy on the line, and finally it's my time to lead, and it's our time for our own line to have a great season and compete with the best and lead this offense.
Thank you. John Estes, Hawaii Center, joining us live after practice, spring practice number 1. Good luck this season, John.
Thank you, Robert.
Most practices will be at 7 in the morning. Some important Saturday dates during spring drills. April 11th, team will hold a scrimmage on Maui, 11 a.m. at War Memorial Stadium. Warrior coaches will hold a clinic April 18th. Practice that day will kick off at 3 in the afternoon. Wraps up with the Warrior Bowl, April 25th, Aloha Stadium, starting at 3 p.m.